I might hear. And I was hearing it earlier today, what was going on in Ghetto. But the thing is that I can't imagine that anybody on television could possibly do any kind of stuff that the writers can for the newspapers and for the for serious stuff. It was possible that I've been able to hear is PBS, and that's about the only one that I've ever heard about this. But the last time I saw a news television was last November when it was the results of who was elected.
Well, come back.
Yeah. Well, and I would argue
watch early in the morning and midnight.
Just the fact that, for example, whether you're talking about the homelessness in television, you can't possibly do the kind of research that both for Civil Beat and for the Star Advertiser.
Well, everybody has their own mode of communication that they prefer, and a picture does paint 1,000 words. And some people are just not going to sit down and read the periodicals that you do. But that brings up a good point. What can we do to help you? What can we as nonprofits do to help support your organizations? Not necessarily in the pitching. And I guess I'm thinking about, like, I will always try to say, Yunji, when you did that story on Joe, we made sure that we were posting and tagging, and we were telling everyone to watch your broadcast.
Right, and I mean, that's the other thing, is that all of us get something out of covering you, because then you might have someone like you who doesn't necessarily watch, but then you have an issue you really care about, and you find out it's going to be on Billy's show, and then maybe you tune in, and then maybe Billy gets a new viewer because you like the story and you like what else you see, right? So there is a give and take there. So I think that promoting within your group, of course, is something that we appreciate.
But the point is well taken that we encourage any social media efforts. You know, if you know that you're going to be, or your article is going to be seen, if you want to go ahead and share or post up the fact that it will be, to give more people a heads up so you've got more eyes, and then that may generate some further discussion on whatever that subject matter might be, and who knows, that might bring you more attention as the relevance of that subject comes up more and more.
Anybody else want to talk about that? I think you guys notice when we do that for you.
I think so, yeah. The social media is a good point. Tweeting and retweeting links to stories about your organization, that is good. Certainly, I would love it if everyone running a nonprofit became a subscriber. And there's, you could read the website all day for free. There's 2 email newsletters that are free as well, and they aggregate the top headlines of say, the last 12 hours. Because I really do think that PBN tries to be a resource to folks. If you need to fill out your board, people we're writing about are people you want on your board. You need to know where and how money is flowing in the city. Like I think PBN is doing a good job of describing where the money is flowing so that you can jump in and grab a hold of some of it for your efforts.
You know, I think one thing you don't want to do, and I'm sorry, but and I know we have about 17,000 people who read us a month. That's 17,000 out of about 1.3 million in Hawaii. So not everybody's reading us. But don't go up to people that you want publicity from and say, I've never read your magazine. I mean, we all have egos, and so that's fine. You don't watch TV, you don't read us, that's fine. I don't read the Huffington Post, I don't, but when you're trying to get something in the media, at least pick up, the media that you're trying to reach, watch the TV show occasionally, read PBN, read Hawaii Business, read the Star Advertiser. We're all online, actually, so if you don't even have a TV, you can see clips on the web for all of these media. You can read our articles on the web, so just saying that.
Okay.
Actually, he brings up a very good point. One way that we can help you is that, I know this is kind of self-serving, but become experts on our businesses. So that way, when you call, we can be experts. What we want to do is when we get into contact with you, we want to become experts on what your story is or whatever you are doing. But the best way to help you is so that way you know when you're calling us, you know who you're calling, you'll know who are some of the people that might be mentioned. For instance, if you're talking about investigative reporting, you know, if you call Hawaii News Now, that you're going to, you know, want to talk to Keoki Kerr. If you're going to be calling, you want to talk to Robert, if you're talking about sports, you know, if you're calling KITV4, but you're going to want to know who the players are. You're going to want to know about the magazine, about the publication. You're going to want to know those things before you go ahead and send those off. So that way you can make that personal connection, that personal email. If you have events, invite the people that matter to the events. Not all of them will be able to come, but the more that you get to meet a lot of us, then the more that we'll have that personal connection with you. So that the next time you see me, I may not remember you, but say that, oh, remember that we were out here at Hawaii? And I go, okay. Start talking, we have a relationship. You call me, you email Yunji. Ah, yes. Sorry, I did Mushnik this summer, it's still there. But that way, you get that.
But I think it's also okay, I mean, now you know all of us now, so you can just call me and say, or email me, hey Yunji, who's the best person on your staff to pitch this story to? And I'm happy to tell you, you know, and I will tell you right away, you know what, I don't think that's a TV story, but maybe you should pitch Billy. You know?
Maybe not the whole
But, you know, I think that, you know, we all want to do good for the community in different ways, right? So we're all striving for the same thing. I think what you were saying is really true.
I want to ask you something. What did you do with Gabe Arnold's decision that was made a couple of days ago? There were almost 2,000 words that was in the Star Advertiser.
We're getting off track here.
Yeah, that's, I think we'll keep moving. That's not really the focus of the conversation. We have just about 10 minutes left.
Mike's an administrative question. At the end of a calendar year or fiscal year, most of the nonprofits here do closure reports on the grants that we've received in the subsequent year. And one of the data boxes on most of these grants is community outreach. You have to quantify it. And so it says, if you hit radio, media, TV, media, what were the households for the viewership? So my question is, in your respective organizations, where would we get that official viewership, the official subscribers? Where would we find that data in your media outlets?
Well, we do ratings every February, November, and May. So we have a rough idea of how many subscribers we have at a given time. At the end of, for TV only, at the end of the ratings period, it's published in the paper, but you can get it from the news director or the assignment editor can give you a rough estimate as to how many people are watching.
On the radio side, if you're going radio, what I would recommend is calling the business office and follow it up with an email. Usually address it to the general manager because that would be the best way, and the general manager's secretary would probably go research that for you, and that would be the best way on that, on the radio side of that. On the TV side, I think probably doing the same thing, calling the business office, explain, and that should be, we're from nonprofit so-and-so, and we really enjoyed the partnership. We needed to know, oh, let me get that for you. Sure. Go ahead, Jasper.
We, at PBN, you can look for our media calendar under About Us. What you're really looking for at most media outlets to find what you're asking about is information for advertising. Because that's where you'll find the size of the audience, the circulation information, ad specs and sizes and all of that. So whether it's PBN, Steve, I think it's the same for the Pac Basin titles that it's online.
Yes, I'm Ken Harding, and I work with a lot of different groups. Used to work with PBN many years ago, George Mason. My question is, what is the best way to find out about internships for young people who are interested in going into the media? Is there an organization that you all belong to? Is that up the way it's run?
Actually, the right person is here. I help run that program. There's an email address if you want to write it down.
SPJ.
spjinterns@gmail.com. We just got our budget for next summer. There's about 13 full-time internships every summer, 10 weeks. We pay $9 an hour. We'll go up with the minimum wage. It's a great way for journalists to get some young journalists to get real experience.
Go to the Gridiron shows because that's how that's funded.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. I work in a nonprofit, many of us do, so I don't know much about marketing. It's just dumped on me. That's very common. So fine, no problem. But I have a lot to learn. I think what I'm hearing is that you all have an audience that you know really well that trusts you. So that's huge. And people trust different media, you know, whether it's long-form journalism or TV or business people are going to trust a nonprofit that they see in a business publication, it seems to me. So that's great. And I know I'm wrestling with understanding who our audience is, and probably many of us are. So I just think this exchange can help us since you know your audience. So a question that I have is actually about advertising versus this earned media. If we're running ads on TV and radio, in print, and then we also want to pitch stories to you, is that okay? If they're like right side by side, does that look funny? Does it matter? Is there any overlap?
I mean, those are two different sides, at least for us. Sales department is on a whole different floor. With nonprofit, there is a little more intersection, like with Komen, for instance. You know, I know at KITV, I believe it's 1 to 10. So nonprofits that do like an ad buy, they pay $1,000, they get $10,000 in ad buy because it's like PSA, right? But that's a very specific category. That's not for all advertising. I don't know the ins and outs of all of that, so don't quote me on that. But I believe that that's what